Before we start today's show, we want to invite you to stick around at the end of the episode to enjoy a preview of a new podcast that premieres on July 14th. As the industry's exclusive cannabis podcast network, MJBulls is proud to present Women Leading in Cannabis. Join host Kira Reed each week for inspirational discussions with women who are leading the cannabis industry. For too many years, families of children with devastating illnesses have felt helpless as they watch their child suffer. Today, they're taking matters into their own hands and finally finding relief, treating their child with cannabis. These are their stories.
Welcome to another episode of Love and Cannabis. I am Nina Simmons.
And I am Osiris Stephen.
And we are the proud parents of Aiden Stephen.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode.
Hello.
Hope you guys are doing well and everyone's safe. Wow, what a year.
So much is going on.
Yeah, we were just excited to get out of 2019 and run into 2020 like it's a brick wall.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's 3 months of lockdown to only turn around and go into a fire pit of just madness.
Yeah. I don't even know how to really process this, like what's going on. It went from, the coronavirus to rioting and protesting, and it's a lot. And I really can't even speak upon it because I'm still processing it all.
Yeah, there's a lot that just came out of this, and it's still unclear. It's because there's so many people involved in this aspect of the protest. Well, I can't even call it protest anymore. It's a riot.
Well, there are some people that are peacefully protesting.
Yeah, but they're not getting as much attention as those are rioting, of course.
Well, yeah.
And I just hope everybody out there who's participating be safe and they just don't do anything stupid, which I've seen some. So for those who are staying indoors and just basically waiting this thing out, we're with you on that. And just, we could do our own protest, but there's other ways to get the message across. So tonight we're going to basically just look back at what's happened, what's got us here, especially as it relates to our relationship. I talked to Nina, and we really haven't been able to sit down and have conversations because of the lockdown. You would think that, you're home, there's not that much interference. It's just you and your family, and that's it. But there's still things because, we're doing the online learning with with our son. And then we also we're working from home, and it's just as hectic as if we weren't even working from home.
Exactly. The only thing is that maybe you get to sleep in a little bit more, but you're still working. You're still, Monday through Friday anyway, you're still doing your work duties and your home duties.
Yeah, you still got to take care of business.
Yeah, it's just like you're not commuting, but that's about it. But you're still working. And you can still be working maybe sometimes even harder on some days.
Well, that's one of the things I thought about is for those people who physically have to be in a job as opposed to someone who's sitting behind a computer. That's all you need, and you could be anywhere. Because I remember some years ago when we first started dating, we thought about that, like, that would be great if you had a job you could just work from home or remotely anywhere.
No, I think it is great, though.
Yeah.
The concept of it is great.
Yeah, it is great. But if you have a child, it's like, does that mean their education is going to be remotely as well? But now we're finding out. It is.
I think if that's your job where you have to work from home, your child really can't be there. Mm-hmm. You would have to, if your child's homeschooling or if not in school, then you would have to hire somebody because it's really hard to do your job and have the child there.
Yeah, it is.
And then something lacks.
Oh yeah, something's gonna fall through the cracks.
Yeah, like even some days we're like, ooh, we don't know if Aiden really did much.
Or sometimes you look at yourself like, did I do a lot of work today?
So it's like it's really hard to get 100% in homeschooling 100% in your job. But though I don't think that that's expected during this time.
Oh, yes, they are. If you're getting a paycheck, they're expecting you to work the same amount. Granted, there's certain things that they have to expect you to submit, but they do expect you to work.
Yeah, I think, but they're being, my job in particular, they're being pretty flexible on the hours. Like, you don't have to, like, I usually have to start work at 8 a.m. and they're realizing that that may not work. So they're allowing you to just get your work done within, you know, even if you're working like pockets, like a little bit here, a little bit there, but just get your work done, where that wasn't the case when you had to report at 8, you know. So they're being flexible in that sense. So that helps. And the school, in terms of the remote learning, they're being very flexible too. They're not even giving the students, you're not getting grades this year.
No, that's scary.
They're just getting meet or needs improvement.
Oh yeah. So at level needs improvement or
There's no, just 2.
oh, just those 2.
It's just 2 now. It's
wow.
needs improvement, meets standards. That's it.
And so they're going to be promoting the kids on that.
If you get a lot of needs improvements, like in every subject, then yeah, you're probably going to be retaining or going to summer school.
Wow. Okay. It's amazing where we are now. It's funny. I did online learning when I was in undergrad, and that was a long time ago. That was like in his early stages of doing that. But that's neither here nor there, or just is always around. So I can't say neither here or there. It's not going anywhere for a while. So for you, what have you learned about being home? I'm home. Aiden's home, because you know usually I don't get home till 7 o'clock at night, and so having us all here with you at the same time. What are the challenges? What are the ups and what are the pros and cons? Let me just simply put it this way: pros and cons.
Okay, good question. As Aiden was saying.
Yeah, Aiden was saying that. Good question.
Let me think about it. So let me go with the pros. The pros about having everyone home is obviously spending the time together. So that's nice because we don't always spend time. We rarely spend time with all just 3 of us.
Mm-hmm.
Another one of the pros is that at night time, I would do everything by myself, basically. Like when Aiden got home at 3, he's routine. I would do all the schoolwork and the cooking and basically putting him to bed.
Mm-hmm.
And we never had dinner together as a family.
True.
So I like that, when you're not working, if we can just sit down, and have dinner together. I really like that. I appreciate that because we never really got to do it before this lockdown.
Yeah, that's the pros.
Yeah, so that's one of the pros. The cons is that
be honest. Don't hold back. Be honest.
It's hard. Some days it's really hard to focus with you and Aiden here, and I can't just focus on the students. Sometimes Aiden walks in to the sessions or he wants attention. Also, my mind is elsewhere because sometimes I'm wondering, is he gonna get all his assignments in? And I know, so it's a lot more things to juggle. Whereas where he's in school, I know, okay, at least I know he's getting his academics there. I don't have to worry about it until I get home with the homework. But then now I still have to worry about what's going on with his remote learning, and I still have to work. So it's not. Some days actually better than others, I must say. Like some days it runs very smoothly, and I'm like, oh, I could probably do this. This is not bad. I could probably do this for a couple more months. And then some days I'm like, oh God, like we have good days and bad days.
True that.
It's different trying to work with your family here, and you don't really have much space. Like where I used to work, being a physical therapist, I have equipment, I have space to do things. Like we live in a small apartment. It's not a lot of space, and sometimes it's time to eat lunch and I still have to work. And so it's a lot more to juggle. When you're at work, you have your work equipment, you're just doing work for the most part. Mm-hmm. But here it's like, okay, it's lunchtime. What are we going to make for lunch? Like it's a little different.
Yeah, because now we're doing all of it, or mostly you.
Yeah, we're doing all of it. So that's a huge challenge. Like I said before, some days are better than others. And some days, at work, to be quite honest with you, some days work was a break for me from home life. Mm-hmm. Like, yeah, I use it as a break. So, like, I would sometimes go to work and, like, put my head down. Like, I always tell you, like, I put my head down. I slept, like, for an hour during lunchtime. So it was a little bit of a break. Now I don't have, like, that, break.
You don't get that break? Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I'm trying to think now, like, this is week 13 in quarantine. I'm trying to put myself first, and I need to take a walk in the morning first thing before I start work. So I'm making that a priority. But when you're at work, you do have that kind of, like, just me time, to be quite honest with you, whether it's your lunch break or it's the morning break, or, you have that kind of time. But when you are home, you have less of that me time. And your me time could even be, like, on the bus going to work, on the train. Like, I used to always look forward to when I took the bus to work, like praying, on the bus by myself for a 30-minute commute or whatever, how long it took that day. So you really don't have that. So when you're home, you have to, like, force it. Like, okay, I'm going to go outside and take that walk and get that time to kind of regroup before I start working, before I have to do, things, household things. In the beginning of the lockdown, I think it was harder because you were afraid to go out. Like, they gave you that thing where you had to stay in, So
yeah.
There were days where we were just in for days and days and doing, like, a quick run to the grocery store. We weren't taking, like, long walks.
Well, I mean, I was.
Yeah, maybe you were, but, like, it was that sense that you had to stay home, Yeah. So now, not to say that the virus is not out there, but things have let up, and people are out. I'm out. I'm like, yeah, I'm taking my long walks every day. I need that. It's not healthy either. So I'm doing that, and I think.
Which is not healthy? The walks or staying in?
Staying in.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure.
Staying in. It's not healthy. So I do make sure now the weather has been gorgeous, so I am doing that for myself, and it feels a lot better.
So looking at where you are now in your life, before getting married, what did you perceive in your mind? Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna get married. He's gonna be rich. He's gonna be tall, dark, and handsome. He's gonna be all this. I mean, was that an idea or perception for you before you got married, of what ideally you would like to have?
I mean, I'm not an idealistic person at all, as I always quote
and
that I'm a realist. And you hate that I always say that.
I don't hate it. I just didn't understand it because
I explained to you many times what it was.
I mean, it's definition of fit, but okay, I'll go with it.
So y'all, I always say that I'm a realist.
Okay, fair enough.
So the definition of a realist is someone that keeps it real.
That's simple. No, okay.
No. So basically, is that I just use experiences. Mm-hmm. My own experiences, maybe experiences from others, and from that I deduce conclusions, things that make predictions, per se.
All right.
Some people may look at that as being pessimistic.
Yes, I do.
But it's not. So to me, and I didn't grow up in an idealistic home where, the woman was pampered and she got everything and they're living this perfect life. So I definitely didn't expect that out of a marriage.
Okay. So what was your thought then? I mean, again, did you have any kind of perception of what you would want your marriage to be like, or okay, so you're not looking at a fairy tale life, but more or less you had some ideas that, hey, this is where I want to live. This is kind of man I want in my life, da-da-da. Did you have a menu?
I didn't, no.
Okay.
I didn't have a menu or a list. I mean, I expected, I guess, when you do, you kind of have like some expectations like your dad did. So So for me, I definitely wanted someone that didn't expect me to do everything around the house. Like, didn't expect me to be this superwoman. I definitely didn't have that perception. I wanted someone to be a good father, and a loyal husband. And whatever obstacles that were to come up, that we just kind of deal with them. I mean, I did have expectations on my living situation. I expected to, live in a nice neighborhood and have a nice place to live. That was like one of my expectations.
So the house with the picket fence.
Not necessarily like a picket fence, but like a decent place to live. Yeah.
No, I mean, that's just a symbolism of, the idea of the American dream was to have the house and the picket fence, the White House and the picket fence. That's the only reason why I say that.
I mean, yeah, I guess. I mean, not that idealistic, but yeah, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't expect like a financial struggle. Which was, I don't know what I was thinking with that. But
well, I mean, I figured that we're all going through a financial struggle. Not everybody's going to have it easy, especially when you attend a 4-year institution that's charging like a exorbitant amount of money.
Exactly. So, no, I didn't really have any fairy tales about my marriage, but I did with my child. Like I had these things that, my son was gonna be, or daughter was gonna be going to private school, like be really smart and be athletic and do all these things, like the perfect kid. And, that did not happen. But I'm finally coming to terms with it. Like, that's okay.
But
that's
going
okay.
to that though, how did it make you feel when you saw that it wasn't going that way? Like, honestly, in that sense, because I mean, we all have this idea. Because I could say the same for myself. My son's gonna be doing this, my son's gonna be doing that, but then he has this ailment, and it's like all that is just, hey, I'm just happy if he stands up. I'm just happy if he can put a spoon to his mouth.
Changes things, yeah.
Yeah, so it changes perspective. So, but how did it make you feel though, knowing that those thoughts are not even gonna be realistic for you or for him?
There was a quote that I'm part of a special needs group called Special Needs Moms Manhattan on Facebook. And, it's like you mourn the loss. Like, it takes a long time. So at first, you feel you want to do anything just to make them, quote unquote, normal. And you start to blame yourself of what did you do wrong, particularly during the pregnancy. And, it's a process. And you have to, and then after a while, you just come to acceptance. But just like how you will mourn like a death, first you're in denial. It's like the whole steps.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So it's a process, and it could take a long time.
Did any time you blame yourself?
Absolutely. I kind of still do. So it's a lot. Yeah.
When you blame yourself, like what do you think you could have done differently? Not knowing what he was going through, but seeing the end result, like what do you think would have been different? Because putting that pressure on yourself, that burden, it kind of plays itself out. You can't sweep it under your rug. It's blaming yourself. Like that's a lot of weight. So
it's just all kinds of, I'm like, oh, maybe if I ate more avocados, I don't know, like eat more fish oil. It's everything. It's everything. It's a lot. Like, it's a lot. So, or maybe because I know when he was very little, he was underweight and like maybe he wasn't getting enough food. I don't know, like all kind of things.
I mean, really, you breastfed that kid for 2 years straight. He was
getting
the milk in.
Maybe I shouldn't have. I don't know. All kind of things.
Yeah, but I mean, I supported the fact that he, that you wanted to breastfeed him for that long period. I believe that's what kept him healthy, despite the seizures and all. Those are certain things that just, it happens. Now, going through that, what changes were you going mentally, emotionally, that you felt that you couldn't get a hold of, like it was wearing you down? Because for me personally, I've seen it, but what was going through your mind daily?
it varied from day to day. It just, more or less, I was thinking about like, what we're gonna do to help him. Like, it was always this constant thing, like, what are we gonna do to help him? Especially when he was having really bad seizures, I felt very helpless, and it was very hard to function, to try to figure out, like, how's he gonna go on like this? Is this gonna be permanent? Like,
Yeah.
And it always felt like it's gonna be permanent, but obviously he got better, so that's good. And you know what? And it's not all sad, because I was contemplating other days, like, all of this has made me like a different person, and I'm more compassionate. I feel like I have more compassion towards other people, and I have more understanding, and I'm less judgmental.
Okay.
Particularly when people have kids, I'm like, everybody thinks there's this way of raising kids, and if you're in it, and if you don't do this, you're a bad parent. And the whole thing. Like, I have family members that will say, "Oh, he doesn't like discipline them enough." I'm like, no, there's some kids that just have. It's a special needs. They have this. It's why they call it special needs. They have some behavioral issues. It's not because the parents didn't give them enough spankings or not tough enough. It's just there's something. It's a neurological thing. Like, people don't think as if a kid has a behavior issue that. I mean, yes, there are some small rats out there, but I'm talking about like these severe behaviors.
Yeah. Like, you can't take them to restaurants or birthday parties.
That's severe behaviors that they're not. There's some kids that they're not scared of authority at all.
Yeah.
Like, you yell, you pinch, they're like, ha ha ha. So that's a special need. That is a behavioral issue.
Yeah, that is,
yes, and that's neurological. So, like, it's not bad parenting, but there's like maybe these parents who have typical kids will be judgmental, or single friends are judging you, and I'm not like that, because I get it, So, it just changes the way you see a lot of things.
Yeah. Now, throughout the marriage, do you think you've gotten enough support from me?
I've gotten a lot of support from you in some ways. In some ways, no.
Yeah, I see it, but
like, I feel like when it came to Aiden and his needs, like, I have this picture in my head, like, when he was on the high fat diet, you were all in. Like, you made like these coconut things, and you forcing it down.
Yeah.
And it helped him. Like, you made this coconut souffle thing with sweet potato and coconut cream.
Oh yeah.
And it was like in this bowl. I'm like, oh my God, like, I was looking at him, I was like, wow, like, he is all in. I'm very proud of him, like, because he will do anything to help his son. And I felt I was very supported in that way. For him, we sleepless nights, whatever.
Yeah.
You were in it, all in it. In terms of supporting me emotionally, yeah.
I'm a caveman.
I think you get like a 2 out of 10. Is that?
Wow. Jeez. That's basement numbers. That's the doghouse.
Again, you know what? In terms of development, a lot of people can't be 10. No one can be 10 out of 10.
Okay, I'm not even asking 10,
everything.
But let me break even.
Like a 5? You're looking for?
At least,
no. I can't. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I can't say something that's not
all
true.
Good. It's all good. You don't have to lie.
And that's my perception. Do you think that you were? What do you rate yourself?
Well, I'm looking at maybe high 7s, good 8.
What?
What? I can't get it.
Okay, so tell me an example of why you think that.
I'm loving.
Example? No, not just adjectives. Like, tell me an example.
Well, I throw out the garbage.
Okay, yes, I knew you were going to say that. Okay, so this is it, guys. Like, his thing of showing affection is doing chores.
Hold on a second.
I knew he was going to say something. I knew he was going to say something about a chore. Like, oh, I wash dishes. Or, I mean. Okay,
so, all right. So, let's take the chores off the table. All right, so, jeez.
I knew you were going to say a chore.
Really?
I knew it.
Okay, shit. I got to think of something. All right, so, what do you feel that I should have shown or done as it related to you and your feelings and how I could have been a better support to you. I want to make sure I choose my words right. Sorry.
I think it just like show like affirmation of like, okay, yeah, this is hard. We're going through something really hard, instead of like brushing it under the rug.
So you wanted me to physically express it? Did you want me to verbally express it? What? Which one?
Verbally.
Verbally. Okay. All right. So.
And then, whatever's going on, just like, just affirm that, okay, we're going through really hard times. Not try to and give me a break.
Give you a break? When you say give you a break, are you talking about like, hey, you could take the day off, or give you just cut you some
like
slack?
Cut me some slack, like knowing that things are not always gonna be run like
perfect
and
no,
like
I'm not a perfectionist.
engine. I'm not saying you're perfection, but
no. I'm not a perfectionist. I'm perfect, but I'm not a perfectionist.
I don't understand what that means.
Okay. Stay with me. Okay, yeah. So I do apologize. Yes, I could be better. I can't say I couldn't have, because of the fact that it's still the same. So I could be more emotionally supportive and be there for you.
Yes.
Okay. All right. I got to work on that. I thought I was good, though, in the beginning, right? Because, like I said before in our previous pods, and when we talked, I'm a problem solver. I should be a bit more, based on the way I was raised with my mom, very affectionate, very cuddling and everything else. But you're not looking for that. You're looking for the verbal affirmation. You're not looking so much for the hugs and the cuddles and the kisses. You're looking for like, hey, I know you're going through something. I love you. I care for you. Hang in there. We're going to get through this.
Yeah. Because
okay.
I think what you're doing, which is, it's very hard. You're doing what you would want.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Right?
I could see that. I could see that. I guess for me, I'm looking to alleviate as much problems for you, or alleviate things that you don't have to worry about, so you can focus on being where you are mentally.
That's great too.
So you can, be upset or be in your deep thought.
I get
and so it's like one less thing for you. So if, there's no mess around you, okay, that's one thing. Oh, the garbage is taken. Okay. Aiden's taken care of. Okay. So now you're left to think about your thoughts and to deal with it. But maybe sometimes it's probably better for you to be active, so you're not so focused on it. So there's got to be a balance, right? I'm trying to get out of doing that emotional thing. Not to say I don't care about you. I'm sorry. But I get it. I do get it. So I could be. But you know what? It goes both ways, too. You waiting for that?
No, I'm listening.
Okay, so it could go both ways too, in the affirmation and recognizing one another. So, but it's not about me right now. So it's about you. So I'll leave it alone at that. What have you learned though about yourself and about our relationship in general now that we've been locked up? Because I have to be honest, I thought we'd be divorced within the first month and a half, and I know you thought the same way too.
Yeah, I was nervous.
You were nervous. I was looking to scrape to go back to work. I'm like, you guys got to open that office. I can't go home. I can't go home. Don't let me go home. Not to say it was bad, but it's just like we've never done it. I mean, vacations is one thing because you have so many activities to keep you, to keep you occupied. You go on vacation, you got a pool, you got the bar, you got all these things to keep things going. But when you're on lockdown, they're telling you, really, it's martial law. You can't go outside. You can't breathe. You can't do this. You got to wear a mask. And it's like, what's preventing us from going mad, and what's preventing us from getting at each other? So what have you learned about yourself and the marriage while under lockdown?
I've learned that since it's me and you in here, right?
Yeah.
I can't let myself be mad for too long.
I got to work on that. What do you consider not long?
More than 30 minutes, 40 minutes. You just can't. Because, I can't, if something bugs me, I can't dwell on it. Because it's not like the next morning I can wake up and just, like next morning I could wake up and just go to work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I have to get over stuff. I have to get over stuff.
Okay.
I mean, if something really, but I have to come to you and say, and it has to be squashed. Like, I cannot let things dwindle. It just can't, because it's just like, how kind of environment is that?
But there's been moments where you do let it fester.
I do, but I that's what I'm saying. I'm learning that I can't let things fester.
Yeah, I agree. I'm learning that as well. Because you got nowhere to go. You got nowhere to go. It's either you face it or you let it consume you to the point where you're constantly. I mean, the liquor store. I think we should just have them deliver. There's only so much drinking you can do in a day. But okay, I do get that. It's something I can work on as well, not letting it fester. But I think for me, the way I look at it is that I allow it to, I guess, in my mind, try to formulate, okay, what just happened? Why did that happen? How do I handle it? So I'm playing this mental chess game of trying to understand what interaction we just had, what started it, why did it happen? You know, all those things to come up with a reaction. Mm-hmm. And so I stay silent until I formulate something, because it could come out the wrong way. So I'd rather stay silent, because I really don't want to do anything passive aggressive. I really am not. So I just say, you know what? Don't say nothing. Don't react. Go outside. Go for a walk. Come back. Maybe it'll be important or maybe not. And then when you're ready to talk about it, then bring it up and just say, hey, look, what was that all about?
But you won't do that often.
No, because I don't get mad that often. And you don't do things that upset me that often.
Really?
Yeah. You've gotten better. You've gotten better on that. So I've been good. No, I mean, you think about it, it's just that, again, it's just the three of us. We got to work. We got to work at this. So there's things that, you know, I do let go. There's things that I just say, okay, I need to understand what's going on. What was that? But do you feel that the relationship has gotten stronger because of it?
I think it's gotten stronger.
It's gotten better. So we're in the right direction.
I think definitely the lockdown. I'm surprised.
Yeah, you and I both.
I'm shocked, actually.
Yeah, I thought I was going to be looking to move out.
Yeah. Because I guess it gave us a more of understanding of each other because we're seeing each other more.
Yes. I guess, too. That's true. Because then you get to see what I get to see how you move and how you operate. So I'm already anticipating, like, okay, this is what's going to happen. And then for me, you get to see, like, how I operate and how I do things. And so it's interesting. And especially dealing with this little guy, which I don't even understand anymore. But he keeps us going as well. Because I think that's what keeps us preoccupied from going after each other. It's because of him.
Yes.
Because he keeps us so busy, we're like chasing him all over the place. Like, it's your turn. No, it's your turn. So it's like, okay.
I know, we tag team. All right. I'm done at 3:30. I'll take him.
Yeah, right. And I'm like, oh, I've had him all morning. Oh, I'll get him off my hands. Oh my God, it's like chasing the Energizer Bunny.
Teachers, come get your kids. Oh my God.
I have the utmost respect for them. The utmost. I will cherish my
kindergarten teachers. How do kindergarten teachers do it?
Yeah, those little babies did and 100 miles an hour, don't stop. They're
tantrums, this, that.
Oh yeah, he hit me. He did this. Oh, okay.
Oh my God.
We digress. Okay, so knowing that you feel the relationship's gotten stronger, it's gotten better. What do you see down the road, like future-wise? I mean, like, we're going into our 10th anniversary, right?
Oh my God. Unfortunately.
Why is unfortunately?
No,
Hold on.
listen,
How'd you start off with unfortunately? Who does that?
Listen, yes, it's our 10th-year anniversary, and I hope we're not on lockdown.
Okay, all right.
I hope we can go away like we planned.
Well, I mean, we could do something, because if, let's say now, schools won't start, there's online remote, I can't go back to work, you can't go back to work, I guess we can go somewhere and just do everything remotely. Mm-hmm. You know, Aiden can get his physical therapy in the pool. You and I could, work from the, cabana.
Oh, that'd be nice.
Yeah, exactly. So, hit the plains and just find some beautiful island and be there for a week or so while they figure it all out.
Yeah, it's so funny that we're hitting the 10-year. At the 10-year, you feel like you're a vet. Marriage.
Really? I say 30 years considered
Probably,
a vet.
yeah. But among my friends, I think I'm have the longest years married.
Whoa, really? Hold on a second.
Well, no,
because we got a couple of friends that have been married before us.
Maybe one.
Yeah, just one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I have a number of my friends who've been married way longer than I have. They all look at me like, "Why'd you wait so long?" I'm like, "Dude, I'm not rushing nowhere. I'm just take my time, find the right person, work it out." So I'm saying it's not like trying to book a vacation. This is, it's like, oh, that's where I'm going to go.
It's very serious, y'all.
Yes, it is. Think twice, 3 times, 4 times. Make sure, dot all the I's, cross all the T's, check up under the engine, make sure everything's working. Because, yeah, it's not. Let's just put it. It's not for the faint of hearts, and it's not for the weak.
Yeah,
marriage is like, oh, you have battle wounds, you have scars, you have some bruised and hurt feelings, and all that good stuff. And yeah, you get it all. Do you have any regrets? Parenting wise, marriage wise, sex wise, all those things that make you you. Do you have any regrets? Like you said, you know what, I probably would have done this differently, or like, I shouldn't have done it at all, or it's like, no, I'm good. I think this is where it should be. You can be honest, no judgmental.
Okay. So what do you say? Parenting and what else? Parenting, relationship. I mean, sex is a toss-up, or just your overall life. I know. Again, what do I have any regrets about?
Or we could put it. What if you could change something? What would you have changed that you felt would have put things in a different path for you?
I think us in terms of finance, like in the beginning of our relationship, I think if we would have, we were okay. So just to let you guys know what we did, we had separate accounts.
Yeah.
Right, and then we had like one.
Yeah, one joint account. I think we did. We did have one joint account, but we barely used it.
No, we did use it. We used it to pay the bills.
Oh yes, that's
remember
what we did.
That it was like which is fine, but I think
we had the single accounts because at the time we were just living together, so we weren't even engaged.
No, I'm talking about marriage. I'm talking about marriage.
During marriage.
In marriage, we had that. We had like.
I don't think we ever changed it. That's why.
Yeah, we had the joint where we had, all money. It was like a certain percentage went in for the bills, and we paid the bills.
Yeah.
From one account.
Mm-hmm.
Which is fine, but I think if you're which I think is fine to have separate accounts. Don't get me wrong, but I think if you're married and you have like a goal,
yeah,
I do think maybe certain things should be monitored on each end.
Okay.
Like, if we have a goal, I'm afraid I'm really not explaining this right.
Well, I gather. So you're basically saying if we should have a common goal together where everything should be into one account, and there should be some type of accountability. Like, okay, if you need to have access to the funds, okay, what do you plan on using?
Yeah.
Because our goal is
exactly. It's kind of like what we're doing now.
Yeah. So, but then you would say, hey, look, let's do an allowance. So, because these are our goals. This is what we want to hit during this time. So, let's do an allowance in a sense that you take out a certain percentage that you need so you can go out on the weekends, you can travel, you can get lunches if you like to, or, some other things, but make sure it's a allotted amount that you take out consistently every month.
Yeah, so I think,
that's it.
Yeah, so I think we should have tightened up a little bit more on that.
Okay.
And we would have, because we were making so much, between the two.
Yeah.
And we were overspending a lot, and we could have, even though we were saving, but I think we could have been a little better.
Oh, we could have done a lot better. And I think for the most part, for us both, we were like, you know, we had extracurricular activities we wanted to do, things we like to have. So it happens.
Yeah.
But I don't think that we even had a set goal in our minds in the beginning.
I think that's the thing. I think
because we had Aiden and the whole issue with Aiden and his health and everything. So I don't think we had like a set goal. I think the one thing we did have a set goal was let's make sure that we had a cushion just in case something happens.
Yeah.
So okay, I get that. And
like, so if we went in and kind of had a set goal or to collectively and kind of hold each other accountable for spending.
Of course. But I think there's a level of trust. I think that what it was is that we didn't trust each other in that sense of saying, let's do it together.
Mm-hmm.
I think we were still living like...
Singles.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We just had papers.
Like, I'm not throwing shade to anyone who does this and is married. They're like, when their husband will say, I'll pay for it. Honestly, it's the same money. Mm-hmm. Because when push comes to shove, when you're getting that divorce, particularly in New York, it's all money is all one money. Mm-hmm. So if you say you make a lot, say you make 100 and you make a lot of money, right? So you're one of those investment banker types, or you make a lot of money. Push comes to shove, when you get divorced to that woman, there's no like, oh, this is my money. No, the lawyer's going to look at your pension, at all your savings, and split that down the middle.
That goes for the female too. So let's say like...
anything. Yep. Yeah. Everything gets split. So to say, and you're married, to say, oh, I'll pay for this. Yes, it's like a yes and no kind of thing. Because like I remember my mom used to say, when her father got me a gift, it was like, I'm buying the gift. Because they didn't have separate accounts, my mom and dad. Everything went to one account. So it was like...
So that's funny because my mother and my stepfather, they had separate accounts.
Yeah. So my mom and dad never, I think until later down the line, but initially, particularly if it's not really fair, one person is making more, like significantly more, to have separate accounts. So in the beginning, they had joint accounts, right? And then they took out, each person had their allowance that was allotted. It didn't matter who was making more, right? Yeah. And everything went into one pot, and they paid everything. So it's like, if you got like a gift, it was like,
yeah, you just took it from the pot.
It could have been your own money.
Yeah, so basically you took it from the pot.
Yeah,
so
that kind of thing. It's just a thought that's nice, but it wasn't like, someone gave them money to buy you a gift. It was basically from the household money.
Okay, all right.
That kind of thing. Which is, I don't know. It's like, I don't know what works, but I think for us, we're doing better when we're kind of holding each other more accountable for spending.
Well, yeah, I think the other part of it is not having so many wants.
We cut down, especially with this COVID, we cut down a lot of our wants.
Yeah, well, we weren't going nowhere, not spending on movies, dinners, outings, alcohol. Oh man, I think we allocated monies for that. So yeah, alcohol.
Unfortunately, it's a must right now.
Yeah, the happy sticks. Put us to sleep and just relax. But I think that we've really changed a lot of things that we've done. I think having been on the lockdown has changed our perspectives and our views of what we want and what we feel is important. Because now we have time to have conversations. So there's not much outside interference. It's just us. So it's helped. I would have to say that. And you feel that you become a better person, wife, mother, since you've been home?
Yes. Yeah, I think so.
You feel more patient with yourself. Because that's one of the things I want to see more of, you being patient with yourself so you don't feel so overwhelmed with things.
Yeah, I'm being patient with myself. I'm definitely giving myself, I was like, nope, I got to go. I got to work out. I got to do for me more. And to put that first, before I was never doing that.
Excellent. I remember we had, I think you and I, look at you. You know what I'm about to say. You and I had this conversation years ago about you putting yourself first. I have to. Yeah, because there's no us without you being, number one.
Exactly.
Yeah, because we need you to be at 100% full tilt, And you only feel that way once you're doing the things that you enjoy and the things that make you feel better.
It's funny, today I was thinking of some things that that make me feel better, and make things that I have to do, and I have to have it, especially when we get out of this lockdown. Whenever we get out of it, there's certain things that I have to allocate for myself, which is exercising, swimming, and
swimming.
yeah.
That could be a family event to swim.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not saying
Aiden
that.
loves to swim.
And also, like, I really enjoy just going out with friends, like at dinners and stuff like that.
You were doing that before, so that doesn't count. It seriously does
But
not
I miss
count.
it.
That's what it is. Yeah, you missed the drinking, but you do that now. It's funny because I'm watching you guys online doing this Zoom drinking.
It's not the same.
It's not, because somebody doesn't to carry the other person home. But I appreciate your honesty, because I know that it's kind of hard to be honest with your partner sometimes about your feelings, about your emotions, because you don't want to show any vulnerability, weakness, or anything like that. So I appreciate it, especially us doing it during a podcast. But I feel that it's going to help someone out there that may, think about, I should talk to my partner about this. Maybe I need to express, but I don't know, because I'm worried about what they're going to say or how they're going to feel if I say something.
I think that's what it comes down to, yeah.
Yeah. You felt that? You didn't think I would listen? If you, before, like now, how we are very open about discussing things about how you feel and what you think and what you want. Before that, what prevented you from being open?
I didn't know how you were going to react. And sometimes you may not realize it, but you get...
Hey, don't say anything that's going to incriminate me or get me arrested.
I won't.
Okay, thank you. Disclaimer.
Sometimes, like, you get heightened.
¿Qué? Moi? Get heightened?
Like, it's not yelling, but I can tell you, like,
Okay. All right.
your body language.
Okay.
So I'm like, I don't know how this is gonna come off.
Really?
Or it's a lot of times, I'm not a very good person to deliver. I'm very abrupt, and I'm very like,
Yeah.
direct.
Yeah. It could be somewhat taken as what's the word I'm looking for? Abrasive.
I am.
Yeah. Jagged edge there. So you perceived that I was intense. Can I use that word?
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't think you've ever heard me yell or scream.
Oh, your voice. You raise your voice. Not at me, but you can raise your voice.
Really? Me?
All the time, actually.
Not as much as you. But that's okay. We're not going to go back and forth. I'm just trying to protect myself just in case whatever I say can be used against me. Really, I never thought that I had raised my voice, let alone be loud. I mean, when I was a kid, but now, loud, yelling, I don't see it because, okay, you know what? Let me take a step back. Maybe I do, and I don't perceive it.
Do you think that you yell at Aiden and get loud?
Oh, no, Aiden, you got to yell at the kid. Come on. He's a kid. You got to yell at the kid. Kids don't understand anything else. Okay, I thought it was about you.
No.
I'm talking about you.
No, you never yelled at me.
That's what I'm saying.
You get intense.
Well, I mean, our conversations tend to be intense. Our conversations, sometimes you just like poke the bear. Don't you? Don't you? You know you poke the bears, so stop
I
playing.
poke bears.
Yes,
I guess
you
so.
do. Especially this bear, because I'm cuddly, I'm cute, and I'm friendly. But here you come with that big stick with the jagged edge and just be wanting to poke it for some apparent reason. Oh, my God. So then you turn around and say, well, you do scream. Really? Oh, all right. Never mind. Anyway. So any thoughts, any last thoughts, words you want to share that I may or may not know? Wow, taking a deep breath. I don't know if that was a deep breath or a sigh.
A deep breath.
Okay.
I'm trying to think. Things that I would like to share.
No, it just, I mean, when I say share, in a sense that what's made you reflective of everything up until this point where you look back and you're like, yeah, I did it right. I did it wrong. I'm happy. I'm sad. Reflective in a way. Okay. No pressure.
Things that I think I'm still growing and I'm still learning. There's a lot to learn, a lot to learn about you still.
I'm an open book. Okay. You didn't have to make that facial expression. You really did.
You are open book, but there's still things to learn,
Okay. You could always ask me anything. I'm very open. I share whatever with you. I never hide anything from you. Except for... Oh, yeah. That one, too. Never mind. So... Yeah, there's a lot to learn. I've experienced a few things in life. So, yeah. I mean, whenever you're ready.
Got it. All right. Well, thanks for interviewing me.
I mean, it was a good interview.
Or having this conversation.
Yeah, that was a good conversation. We don't have it, and we don't have it. I can't say we don't have it often, but I think we should have it often. Conversation like this, see where we are, see how we're doing, because we get caught up with life that we don't make time for each other in the sense of, how are you doing? Not the how you doing or how was your day type talk. Where it could be one answer. I'm good, fine, it's okay. I want to be able to get down
go
to
deeper.
The layers.
Yeah, it's more than layers. Just going back. I have goals for us as a couple.
Yeah.
And in terms of where we are connecting wise.
Yeah.
And also financially and security wise.
Yeah.
Where I want to see us, when we're older, not to struggle in our, 60s and 70s.
You're afraid of that, aren't you?
No, because I'm very sure it's not going to happen.
Okay. Oh, confidente.
Yeah, because I'm, no.
She's like, I am not dealing with that.
No, you just have to say it, because no.
Okay.
It's not happening, but and I guess sometimes I do, get stressed and anxious and put some pressure.
Yeah. That, we sense that. Definitely.
But because I expect better from us.
Amen.
I expect much better from us.
Amen.
I know there's going to be dips in the road.
Mm-hmm.
So everything's not going to go smoothly, but, I expect us to do great things. So.
All right. I'm looking forward to working with you.
Thank you.
On this journey to Neverland, right? But, yeah, I do hear you, and I have the same belief as well, because we have a lot of plans. I mean, we work pretty well together.
Yeah, I like that.
We come down with some goals and ideas that we could really do some great things and make it happen, especially not just for our future, but for definitely A's future. Yeah, putting him first definitely motivates, because again, his future is uncertain, but we have to at least set the foundation for it so he has something to work from. And we've seen some great things from him too. He's been doing really well under this lockdown. I can't say much for us, but because he's really pushed us to our limit. But homeschooling has definitely made me more involved and given a different perspective, and it's also made me very was patient. I think that was one of the things that I was really, really, behind on, is being patient. And having been here, being home every day with you guys, I've learned it and I've embraced it.
Yeah, you changed a lot, your style of teaching.
Yes, before it was like the iron fist.
Yeah, and I was, and I said to you, listen, I've been working with him for many years. I'm like, this is a seizure, neurological brain. You do all this, and then tomorrow
it'll be all gone. Oh my God, I used to scratch my head.
It's not that it's all gone. It's just that these neurological brains need more repetition.
Yeah.
So don't expect for him to get it in one day.
And I learned that, and I had to work on that. And I'm like, okay, all right, this is not working. I'm like using a hammer.
Like they're not. It's just
not gonna work.
It's just not gonna work. But it's not like they don't learn.
Yeah.
But they're gonna need 5 days.
Yeah, instead of like 1 day.
Instead of 1 day or 1 hour. It's just
yeah.
just present the material, repeat it, go back the next day, and don't be surprised at that. Everything that you did,
he'll remember. And he surprised me a couple of times with that. I'm like, holy cow, you remember that?
Yeah, some days he remember, and then some days
Yeah, he's
not gonna remember.
person.
So
That's true, and we could have gone over like 10 times right then and there, and he's like, "Huh?" Give me a totally different answer. I'm like, "Oh boy, all right."
Yeah, exactly.
But he has really improved. Just his articulation, his ability to talk more and get conversation with him. It's amazing. It's night and day. I mean, granted, we're not completely out of the woods with the seizures and yet, but it's far much better than it's ever been. And the fact is that we're on top of it and we're on top of him. It's awesome. I mean, just to watch him on a scooter going down the block is just amazing.
Yeah.
And
I had to reflect on that too, because I'm like, I don't think if we didn't start cannabis this early,
oh yeah,
he would have been like this. Because I was reading another blog. I'm always on these blogs, a seizure blogs, and this child had the same exact seizures as Aiden, like the 100th and febrile, and the kid is totally nonverbal, in a wheelchair, and I'm just like,
oh my god,
how could that happen? And Aiden, talks. Aiden reads. Aiden does math. Aiden
is in school. He's active, physically active.
So I don't. It's
and
like,
growing.
And growing. It's like, was it the CBD? Because he was one of the pioneers.
Yeah, he was
kids that took it so young.
Yeah, he was
at 2.
He was at 2.5 years old.
Yeah, most kids weren't. There's not that many kids that. I mean, this is 5 years ago. I'm sure kids are taking it at 2 now.
Yeah, but before
this, we were one of the pioneers. So I'm not sure 5 years ago there were many kids that were 2 taking it.
Oh, he had probably one of the first few kids to have the medical marijuana card in
New York State.
In New York State, yeah.
He was one of the first kids
to
be taking CBD. So I don't know. I really think the neuroprotection of the CBD, the CBD didn't take away his seizures completely, but maybe it protected his brain a little bit.
So
more.
if anything was slowed down the process of deterring
the damage, yeah. Because I just I felt at that point I just praised God, I felt completely blessed, even though some days I feel so upset that he's not like the other 7-year-olds. Even though he's not that far from it, but I feel upset. But I'm like, wow, he could have been a lot worse.
Oh yeah, and it's amazing because there's times where he'll have a grandma take a nap, get up and act like nothing happened.
So I think that's the CBD, the neuroprotection, because most people, if they have a seizure, they're done for sometimes more than a day.
Nah, this kid is up, running around. Take him outside to be on a scooter.
You would never know.
You would just put it this way. You would never know. And he'd talk. I mean, even if he has like a little jerk of a twitch or anything like that, you'll see him pause for a second, and it's just like a child that zones out for a second, and he'll come right back. So so what were we talking about? What do you want to do? And it's like, wow.
Yeah, so I have to keep that in mind
we're fortunate
on my bad days. And anyone out there, there's kids who may have autism spectrum, but there's just always know that no matter what, there's always
challenges for others.
Challenges that are worse than yours. I mean, people say that like a cliche, but it's true.
Yeah, and it's for both of us. I feel for those parents. I feel for those families because granted, Aiden is a bit advanced for his situation. He's doing really well. But there are moments where it's just like, oh, it's a lot. And,
it is a lot.
And so you can imagine a parent who has a child
who
have more needs than someone like Aiden. It's like,
I can imagine, yeah.
Yeah, it's hard. It is definitely, and this lockdown is not helping.
It's not helping. Like one of my friends, she said her son wakes up at 4:30, 5 o'clock a.m. every morning.
I'm sorry. He's getting at least a bottle of CBD. You out.
So I said, okay. And I told her, I said, well, my son tries to wake up early, but we give him the iPad or a phone, and we sleep in for another 2 hours, sometimes more. And she's like, I can never do that with my son. I can never leave him. I can never leave. And he's the same age as my son. She's like, I cannot leave him.
Wow.
Just laying on the couch and watching a movie or a show while I sleep. I said, oh, wow. And little things like that, I take for granted.
Yeah. I mean, the next step is teaching him how to, prepare breakfast for himself. Yeah, we're on that. So. But, wow, it's been interesting to talk to you. And I appreciate you, sharing your thoughts and feelings about yourself, your marriage, and letting me know what I need to work on. I appreciate that. It's real.
You're welcome.
Okay. So I'll probably start soon. It's one of my goals. I'll put it on my to-do list. I don't know where I'm going to put it on the to-do list. Because it's a long to-do list.
I see.
I'll fit it in for you.
Thank you.
We could talk later over a glass of wine and see if there's, any room for fitting you in my schedule there.
Thank you.
All right. All right, guys.
All right, that's a wrap.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in. I hope that you guys tune in for our next episode, and definitely keep on listening. And if you guys have any ideas, please give us a shout out on MJBulls with any questions or ideas, topics you want us to discuss. Definitely feel free to do so. All right. Take care, guys.
All right. Thanks.
Thanks for tuning in. Another episode of
Love and Cannabis.
I'm Osiris Stephen.
And I'm Nina Simmons.
Be strong.
And stay empowered.
Tell me, boy, you make me so bored. You need to walk the other way. I tell you once more. Please get out of my way. I don't want you no more. We're done here, boy. I know you think you're so fine, but you can't see it. I've been wanting to unwind.
Hi, my name is Kira Reed, and I'd like to invite you to be inspired by the women who are leading in the cannabis industry. Each week, we will discuss empowerment, leadership, and what it means to be a woman in charge in marijuana, hemp, and CBD. As the founder of the Women Empowered in Cannabis community, I have had the great pleasure to get to know many brilliant and talented women who are CEOs, executives, politicians, advocates, and community leaders that are focused on creating a cannabis economy that is just, fair, and equal. We'll learn how these women make decisions, how they navigate a predominantly male industry, and what they're doing to level the playing field for women. I hope you'll join us.